tactics, really.
My former father-in-law fought at Tarawa. He fought in many of the Iwo and all those. But he wouldn't talk about it. Why, Leon, do you think? Every time I'd ask him, he wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to allow yourself to remember all of the terrible things that happened. By the way, I do want to say this before we get very far along. I want to have your viewers know how lucky we are to have Ed Harris be the narrator of this film, to lend his good name
You're not kidding.
to an important film. And with his good name, I'm convinced that many more people would have seen this film and have known about what we've been trying to do.
Well, there is this wonderful memorial in Washington now to finally the World War II veterans. They deserved it for a long time coming. We're going to show you a clip from this. Leon Cooper returned there last year. Here's a clip of what happened from the documentary film Return to Tarawa. A word of caution, you might find some of these images disturbing. Watch.
I smell the stench of all those bodies rotting in the sun. Still comes back to me. All that stink of guys decomposing. I came ashore about here, between here and the pier, and I crouched behind the seawall, and the Japs were shooting at me from up there somewhere. They were shooting at me from every angle there was. I'm just, I can't stand it. Look at this sand here. I couldn't get anywhere near the sand. I was hung up on the reef.
This battle was fought from November 20th, 1943 to November 23rd, 3 days. It ended in American victory, the first U.S. offensive in the critical Central Pacific region, the first time the United States faced serious Japanese opposition. What caused you to cry there?
I remembered all those kids being shot. That memory will never leave me. A few feet away from me, I would see a kid in his teens being cut to pieces. How the hell I survived, I don't know. I remember my mother sending me letters from time to time, son, be careful. You can't be careful in a war. You're either lucky or you're not.
The brutality of the Tarawa campaign would soon hit home. When the American public began to see the pictures of the casualties and devastation in late December 1943, the gruesome carnage was so disturbing that some mothers demanded Nimitz's resignation.
We're discussing the new documentary, Return to Tarawa. What was it like for you, Ed, you had to see all this and document it and narrate it?
Well, what the documentary is really about is what Leon's mission has become since he took that visit, which I really think you ought to talk about.
Now, what is your mission?
First of all, to make sure that the guys I saw being killed in Tarawa who still lie where they fell are being recovered and repatriated. There may be as many as 500 guys there, including a Congressional Medal of Honor winner.
Buried there?
That's a goddamn shame.
Buried there?
In an unmarked grave. Nobody knows where he is for sure. I've talked to his daughter, Bonneman's daughter, a few times.
Why unmarked graves?
Because at that time, the military didn't give a goddamn whether or not these guys were ever repatriated.
Were you
and
shocked?
They still don't.
Stephen, were you shocked at this story?
Larry, it's amazing. I feel really privileged. I went back there, and because it's an atoll, the natural formation of that rock is nothing has ever been washed out. I found bullets, I found cartridges, I found grenades, I found helmets. It's like the battle happened
Are people living
5 minutes
there?
ago. Yeah. 100,000 people are living there. It's horrible. It's unsightly. There's trash and garbage and defecation and more garbage than you could imagine on top of where these men are buried.
We thank Ed Harris, the narrator, Leon Cooper, the incredible World War II veteran. They ought to build a monument to you. And Stephen Barber, who produced and directed and made it all possible. It'll be on December 21st. It'll also be repeated. Stay tuned for news around the clock on CNN. Good night.